Cool. Thanks for joining us, everybody. My name is Riley Teitelbaum, a member of the education team here at the League, and I'm joined by our Director of Education, Allison Dewey. Allison, did you want to say anything else before we dive in?
Just thanks for being on the webinar, and happy to talk about this, the content of how to host a seminar, LCI seminar in your community. A big thanks to Riley. Riley's been working a long time on this presentation and has, I think, answers to all of your questions. Riley has a really great grasp on this information, so you're in for a treat today.
Thanks, Allison. Just a few housekeeping notes. You can enable closed captioning if you would like along the menu bar at the bottom of your window. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, drop them in the chat, and we'll have a section for answering all those questions at the end of the presentation. And slides and recordings of the presentation will be made available on our website soon, probably later this week. Anyways, with that, thank you for joining us. This is a presentation kind of talking through the process of bringing League cycling instructor seminars to your community. Okay, great. So one of the points of confusion is some of the terms. So I just kind of, before we launch into things, want to explain 4 terms, just so that when we talk about them throughout the presentation, you're clear on what those things mean. So obviously, one of the terms is League cycling instructors, or LCIs. And these are dedicated individuals who have completed a detailed training program and are insured and certified to teach the League smart cycling curriculum. We also are going to talk, obviously, about LCI seminars, which are 23-hour training courses that are focused on teaching and demonstrating techniques to be used with future students on the road and in the classroom. The thing about LCI seminars is the emphasis is on how to teach bicycle safety and skills so as to provide increased comfort and confidence for new and returning bicyclists and youth. It does not emphasize the content or specific details of the smart cycling curriculum. It is primarily about teaching those skills. So it is expected that people coming into the course are already familiar of taking the smart cycling course. It normally consists of 1 evening and 2 full days, and is generally about 1/3 of the time is on bike. A couple other terms to be aware of is site facilitator. Hopefully some of the people on this call have either served as site facilitators or are looking to serve as site facilitators. These are individuals local to the community in which an LCI seminar is being held, who are willing to make the seminar happen. They coordinate with potential applicants, set a date, arrange a site. They act as the point of contact during the seminar. And oftentimes the site facilitator is the one who is kickstarting the initial conversation about hosting one by reaching out to us to express interest. And then, of course, we have the League cycling coach, which is different from a League cycling instructor. The League cycling coaches are expert instructors of bicycle safety education who lead LCI seminars and certify new LCIs. So they're approved and hired as independent contractors of the League of American Bicyclists. And when you organize an LCI seminar, the League is the one who is paying the coach, and it's the registration fees that support us in doing so. But you don't actually pay the coach directly. The League handles it. So that's just a couple things to be aware of as we dive into this. Sometimes people get confused between LCI, League cycling coach. So there's that distinction. As an LCI, once certified, you have access to the entire smart cycling curriculum. You're empowered to tailor components of that curriculum to suit your audience's needs. So you can adapt them to talk about infrastructure that is common in your area or specific bike laws in your state or municipality. So you can adapt your presentations, but you don't have to reinvent the wheel. But as a part of the Smart Cycling course, this includes Smart Cycling, which is formerly called Traffic Skills 101. It also includes group riding, Bicycle 123 Youth, our bicycle friendly driver program. And like I said, you can adapt aspects of the curriculum to suit your needs. So getting started, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to our website and you're going to download the FAQs of hosting an LCI seminar. This is a helpful infographic that kind of breaks down a lot of the big picture stuff that we're going to be getting into some of here. The other thing you're going to want to do is download and review the Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU, as we'll be referring to it from here on out. And this is a document that goes over the roles and responsibilities of the site facilitator of the LCI seminar, and is an agreement between the league and the site facilitator to bring this seminar to your community. So you're going to send a copy of attachment A of the MOU to education@bikeleague.org. From there, you'll schedule and attend a short virtual meeting to discuss the seminar process with a league staff member. We'll send you a link to schedule that meeting once we've gotten to that point in the process. So 90 days or more before your seminar, here are some of the things that you are going to need to do. You're going to want to designate a site facilitator. This should be a self-starter who's passionate about biking, who has a desire to spread education throughout your community. You're going to secure a suitable facility for the seminar. That's going to include both classroom and parking lot space. You're going to turn in that MOU to us, and you're going to start recruiting qualified applicants. So when we're considering sites for an LCI seminar, and this is covered in the FAQ and stuff, but there are two locations, a classroom and a parking lot. Ideally, those locations are close to one another. It simplifies everything, but the two spaces that you will certainly need to be able to have access to throughout the seminar is a classroom. This should be able to seat at least 16 people. It is generally a minimum of 30 feet by 22 feet. You have to be able to provide audiovisual technology. Wi-Fi is recommended. It should also be ADA accessible. And then the parking lot, which will be used to practice setting up and teaching bike handling drills and avoidance maneuvers during the seminar, is another essential area that will be needed for the LCI seminar. It should be big enough for multiple drill areas. We recommend it's at least 150 feet by 80 feet. It should be smooth, continuous surface with no potholes, clean of debris. It should have access to low volume, low speed roads for the start of the road ride. And ideally, it should have access to a nearby bathroom and sheltered space. The site facilitator needs to check with the property owners of these spaces to discuss any liability issues, and can provide proof of insurance coverage issued by the league's insurance agent if the property owners require it. So on the MOU, there's some required details, and then there's some optional details. We've already kind of talked about what you do with the MOU, and that we recommend that it should be submitted at least 90 days prior to the requested date. That time frame is intended to provide you with enough time to recruit enough eligible applicants. So that's we have found that seminars are more likely to be successful when you have that amount of time. So that is what we advise, that you are planning things at least 90 days out. The MOU must contain the location of the seminar site and contact info for the site facilitator. You'll also indicate on the MOU whether or not you want your seminar to be open to the public. A seminar that is open will be posted on the LCI seminar schedule and the local resources map on the league's website. This can be really helpful if you're concerned about meeting that 8 candidate minimum requirement, as it allows you to cast a wider net. If you decide that you want your seminar to be closed, then it will not be listed on the league's website. And that means that only the selected candidates you share the registration link will be able to sign up. So if you are trying to host this for a specific audience, and that is who you are intending to host it for, you might consider a closed seminar. Some optional details on the MOU for you to consider are there will be a spot where you are able to list a preferred coach for the seminar. You can find bios of the league cycling coaches on our website. We take these requests into consideration and do our best to honor them. However, dates and location are factors in which coach the league ultimately assigns to your seminar. And then another optional section of the MOU that we'll go into a little bit more details in just a moment is if your organization is paying for candidates LCI seminar registration fees or their memberships to the League of American Bicyclists, you'll also want to include complete and include attachment D of the MOU. We talked a little bit about qualified candidates. What does that mean? There are a handful of qualifications that are important for anyone coming into an LCI seminar. They need to have access to a bike, a helmet, and lights that they'll be able to use throughout the seminar. They'll also need to have passed Smart Cycling the Complete course. Now, this consists of both a classroom component and an on-bike component. It needs to be instructed by a current LCI and completed with a score of 85% or higher on both the written exam and on-bike exam prior to the seminar. One thing to be aware of is that the classroom component of Smart Cycling can alternatively be completed independently online at learn.bikeleague.org and does not need to be completed with an active LCI if you are using the Learning Center. However, the on-bike component that reviews your bike handling skills, the avoidance maneuvers that are covered in the curriculum, and takes you on a road ride, those things need to be completed with an active LCI. We'll go into a little bit more of how you can aid your candidates with that in just a moment, but those are required for anyone who is participating in an LCI seminar. After completing registration, the candidates will receive an email from the league, including a written assessment. That must be submitted at least 14 days before the start of the seminar, and it also needs to be completed with a score of 85% to be admitted as an LCI candidate. As I mentioned before, the seminar is about teaching people how to teach people how to ride bikes, and so you need to come into the seminar with an understanding of the curriculum itself. The coach will make the final determination of candidates' qualification for admission to the seminar. So the registration and membership costs associated with the seminar. The registration fee from the time registration goes up until we are 4 weeks out from the seminar is what we call our early bird rate, and that's $500. For the last week that registration is open, between that 4-week marker and when we're 3 weeks out, standard registration goes into effect, and it is $575. Registration closes 3 weeks prior to the start of the seminar. We need a minimum of 8 paid candidates signed up for the seminar for it to move forward on the scheduled dates. The other thing that LCI candidates and LCIs will need is individual membership, an individual or family membership to the league. 1 year of individual membership is $50. This is for insurance purposes. We cannot accept organization or business memberships for LCI candidates. The insurance coverage that you receive as an LCI is for you and does not extend to the entirety of your organization. So that is the insurance reason for that, and that membership must be kept current in order to work as an LCI. As a site facilitator, that's sort of like the nuts and bolts of everything that you need to do. There are a lot of things that you can do, or a handful of things that you can do that can alleviate barriers for your participants and help you increase your registration numbers by doing any of the following. Like I mentioned before, if you would like to provide payment for some or all of your candidates' registration fees or their league memberships, that you can make us aware of that through attachment D of the MOU. We'll then pass on a discount code via email that you can pass on to your selected candidates. You'll then be invoiced for the number of code redemptions made within 30 days of the seminar. You will pass on this code to the participants. The candidates should be registering themselves using the code rather than you signing them up. This is due to the amount of information the league collects about candidates' bicycling experience relevant to the LCI seminar. So they really need to be the one that fills it out, but you can provide them with that code if you're planning on covering the membership. All registrations made using the specific discount code that you are provided are still subject to the league's registration fees and cancellation policy. So be sure to review that in the MOU and make sure that you're aware of those things. Because yeah, if someone were to drop out last minute, we would still hold the policy as it stands. So you want to make sure that you're enlisting dependable people who are going to follow through. You can one of the barriers for individual candidates is meeting the prerequisites because that on-bike component necessitates them connecting with an active LCI. One of the things that you, as a site facilitator, organizer, can do is to work with an active LCI in your area to host smart cycling classes in the months leading up to your seminar. Opportunities for people to connect and take the course without needing to go to our local resources map on our website and find active LCIs in your area. You can also connect with statewide or local advocacy orgs. They may have LCIs on staff or LCIs that they could recommend. They can be really great assets and are also listed on our Connect Locally map. Other things you can do are you may develop homestay accommodations for out-of-town candidates or the coach. And you may wish to provide light refreshments during the seminar. Those are all things you can do to just help remove barriers and make things more accessible for people seeking certification. As the host organization, you will receive scholarships based on the registration numbers. So when you hit that 8 candidate minimum, which we need for the seminar to move on as forward, you will be provided with 1 scholarship registration. If you reach 14 paid candidates plus your 1 free, you'll get a second free candidate. So that 16th registration can also be a scholarship registration if you meet those numbers. Those are set up to help you as the host organization help meet your local bicycling needs, whatever those may be. This could be languages, ethnicity, anything that you find is not represented in your current roster of LCIs in your area, you can use as a means to help address that need. It's not meant to create more difficulty for the host organization. So you have the option to decline the scholarship if administering it's a hardship, but we hope you'll be able to make use of it. The sample scholarship application is available as a Google form just to make that process easier for you. It's also included in attachment C of the MOU to give you an example of what a sample scholarship application could look like. I set up scheduled reports that give you a weekly update on how your seminar registration is going. When that registration hits that 8 candidate minimum or 15 candidates, I set up discount codes specifically for you to provide to your selected scholarship candidates. They still need to meet the same requirements as any other candidates and still need to sign up before registration closes, but it can be good to be thinking about those things before you actually meet those numbers, just to prepare and make sure that you can get people in before the registration window closes. One of the most important things as a site facilitator is getting the word out, recruiting enough participants for your seminar to meet the 8 candidate minimum is so important for the success of the seminar. So that's one of the biggest things you should be focusing on after we get all this preliminary stuff out of the way. So after site facilitator submitted a completed MOU, attended a short meeting with lead staff, we confirm the coach, we send you registration. From there, you'll want to review that information, make sure everything is as intended. If you marked your seminar as open to the public, the league will generally add the event to the LCI seminar schedule approximately 24 hours after emailing you the registration information. So you want to make sure you're taking a look at that and that everything looks the way that you want it to. Link to a sample communications toolkit, scholarship application are also provided in that email with the registration link. But here are a couple examples of our friends at the Fly Bicycle League and Bike Minnesota of ways that they have promoted their seminars on their websites. There are some responsibilities that are sort of shared between the site facilitator and the coach. The two biggest ones are helping identify local LCI assistants. The league provides a stipend to the coach to pay LCI assistants to help with some of the on-bike materials with larger groups. So the league cycling coach will tell you how many LCI assistants they're looking for and what hours, and will you as the local representative, they'll look to you for guidance on who may be a good fit. They have the final call on who's actually serving as an LCI assistant, but you as the local person are perhaps more plugged into who might be a good LCI assistant. So coaches will look to you for guidance on that, and then they will also look to you for help identifying a 6 to 7 mile ride for the seminar route. They'll explain to you what specifications they need for that, and you'll be able to go from there and help advise what might be a good route from that. I've said this a few times, meeting the registration minimum is really important. Registration closes 3 weeks before the seminar, before the date of the seminar. At that time, we'll approve, postpone, or cancel the seminar based on meeting all the requirements, particularly the 8 candidate minimum. If your seminar is postponed or canceled, paid candidates may attend any subsequent seminar for no additional charge, or they can help the site facilitator reschedule the seminar for that location. If it meets all requirements, you'll get an email from us asking for a shipping address to receive seminar materials through in the mail, and you'll coordinate with the coach to make sure that they're good with the place that stuff is being shipped, so they can get access to it when they get in town and everything. But yeah, big, bold, need a minimum of 8 paid candidates signed up for the seminar for us to move forward. And then just a few things on site facilitator duties during the seminar. Want to maintain a roster of seminar contacts or seminar candidates along with their emergency contact information. You'll need to attend the seminar and assist coach with logistics. This includes opening and closing the space, setting up AV, any sort of site-specific things that may come up. You just need to be around and available to help address those. You can we ask that you take a group photo at the end of the seminar. That said, additional photos taken throughout the seminar, super beneficial. We love seeing those. We love finding opportunities to highlight some of those through our channels, and also they can be used for your promotion of future LCI seminars. So you're actually using local photos of your community And then you'll also assist the coach with candidate meetings at the end of the seminar. And so that is the general gist of what goes into hosting an LCI seminar. I know Allison has been keeping an eye on the chat, and yeah, Allison, are you with us? There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
All right. So we've had a few questions, which I've typed in some answers, but I'm not sure if everyone can see them. So, and there might be some more context that, you could add in, just through conversation as opposed to me typing a long-winded answer. So first off, one I didn't answer is, can you talk a little bit about the refund policy if a seminar doesn't happen, if they don't reach the minimum, like what happens then?
Sure.
And then the cancellation policy.
Yeah, so if a cancellation does not meet, or if a seminar does not meet the 8-candidate minimum, they can just get a refund. That is also an option when that becomes clear that a seminar isn't going to move forward. I'm sending out an email basically giving them 3 choices. Or 2 choices. It depends on whether the site facilitator is looking to reschedule. If they're looking to reschedule, they can keep their registration associated with the existing seminar. They can transfer it to another seminar, or they can get a refund. So that is the one time that, like, after registration closes, that you can still get a full refund is if the seminar does not meet the minimum. We're not penalizing anyone for that.
Great. Okay, and then let's see. Mark asked, is there a complete list of LCI instructors? I would like to email ones local to Mark's state to advertise our local LCI seminar and hoped in order to leverage anybody who might be interested in filling our 8-candidate requirement. So how would you answer that?
Sure. So the local resources map on our website at bikeleague.org/map. You can look it up by state, and then scroll down to the bottom. You'll see a drop down for league cycling instructors. If you're searching by state, that will list everyone in the state who has an active certification with the league.
Okay. Yeah. And then I also mentioned that we do send lists to state groups.
Yes.
If they're organizational members of the league, and even sometimes if they're not, but most of them are, that would have a full list of the LCIs.
Yeah, and those are generally sent out once a year. But if you're a member organization and you need it, let me know. It's not too hard to pull and to send it over. But the quickest way, without needing any support from the league, is to just go to the local resources. Yeah.
And then Stephanie asked, does it matter what type of bike you ride at the seminar? It's a shorter version of that, but I think that's what she's getting at. Does it matter what type of bike?
How would you answer that, Allison?
So I typed an answer to Stephanie, which is, it really doesn't matter what type of bike you use. It's suggested that it's the bike that you ride regularly, that you're most comfortable with, that obviously fits you, that you'll be using when you teach, because I think, that's what you want to practice teaching on, is the bike that you'll be, teaching in reality on. I believe we say in the description, there's just really one requirement. It has to be safe to ride. So we have had fixies show up at seminars, and we're like, well, wait, you need to be able to stop your bike. So it has to have working brakes. And it doesn't necessarily have to have gears, although it might be easier. But it just has to be safe. And also, I noted that e-bikes are you're welcome to bring an e-bike as long as it's class 1, class 2, class 3. It cannot be an out of class vehicle. Let's see, we've got some more. Okay, there was can you show the first 3 slides again? We will be emailing this out, the slide deck, to all the participants. So Riley can flip through those and show you those, but you'll have the slides in a PDF to refer back to. Let's see. Okay. Do you have, Riley, this is something I haven't answered. So the next few have come in since
Sure.
you've stopped presenting. Do you have a sample budget of how much it costs for an organization to put on an LCI seminar outside of the $500 candidate fee, and typical level of effort in hours for the site facilitator, including advertising and finding facilities? That's a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's hard to provide a strict budget because it sort of depends on what resources you are. Like if you have access to a community center, but if you don't have to pay for space, and you're not paying for memberships, then there isn't that much of a cost outside of like staff time, because we're the ones paying the instructor. So yeah, I don't know that there's like an easy one fits all sort of answer. Do you have any thoughts on that, Allison? I think it really varies based on what people already have access to and don't need to pay for.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that typically we see people getting space that does not require money, so that they get free space donated. Our BFB list or BFU list, if you have any BFUs or BFBs in your community, that's a good place to start in terms of space that may be kind of granted to you for free. Community centers, libraries, those kind of things often will to nonprofits give you the space for free or a really discounted rate. In terms of the number of hours, I think it gets easier as you host as a site facilitator more. Probably the first one is a little bit more hour intensive. I wouldn't put it, I'd put it maybe at like, I don't know, 10 hours for the preparation. And then once registration gets going, I mean, 10 hours from like the reading the MOU, understanding what's in the MOU, finding the space, and then all the way through up to the actual seminar. I'd say it's probably between 10 and 20 hours.
Yeah, I think that
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, and I think it also like is going to vary by region because like some people, if they're in a big city that's like itching for a seminar, may have to do very little in terms of promotion. But if you're in a small space that doesn't have as many people looking for it, you might need to put more time into hitting the pavement and actually like recruiting volunteers. So, or not volunteers, participants.
Yeah,
I think it's just it's hard to give a boilerplate.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good question. If a seminar is canceled for not reaching the minimum number of participants, does the site facilitator have to start the process over again to reschedule, or can they just pick another date?
Yeah, so they can just pick another date. We would then need to square things away with the coach and make sure that the coach is still available and that still works for them. But yeah, you don't need to submit a new MOU. I'll essentially be updating the registration page if it's a seminar that doesn't meet the registration thing. So people who have previously registered and have opted to stick in the seminar don't need to register again or anything. We just change the date, and if you change the location, we change the we change the details on the event to reflect the new plan. But yeah, the registration page, the link remains the same.
Okay. Here's the next question. How often are LCI seminars co-hosted or presented in partnership with local bike shops?
I feel like we had a few of those this past year. I don't know, maybe like 3. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's about right. Maybe
we probably had
also
about 3.
Yeah. Maybe also give some other like entities that we see like co-hosting or sponsoring a seminar.
Oh, sure. So bike advocacy organizations are definitely one. Transit agencies. We've seen. I'm trying to think. I feel like those are the
Health. We have a lot of public health.
Oh, yeah. Transit and health agencies, but yeah, like municipality departments.
Let's see.
Bike shares. We've been
Yeah.
getting more bike shares looking for it lately, or bike shares in collaboration with a bike shop or some sort of entities.
Yeah. Can the site facilitator also be an LCI assistant for the seminar?
Yeah, so we definitely get this question sometimes, and it's not as simple as a yes or no. I mean, it is yes, but it necessitates you need to basically pass off the site facilitator responsibilities once the seminar is underway. The seminar itself covers a lot of material. It's an intensive 3-day training, and we don't want your education to be compromised because you're having to show up early to set up AV, or like if there's an AV issue, you have to run to go and solve it, or any sort of things that can go on with the site that you might have to address. We wouldn't want you to have to deal with those during the seminar if you're a student in it. So you can serve as the site facilitator up until day of, and then you basically need to tag off to someone else. You need to have another representative who can functionally be the site facilitator during the seminar itself, so you can focus on just being a student in the seminar.
Right. So someone can't be the site facilitator and a candidate of the seminar. But so this question is asking, can the site facilitator be an LCI assistant? So one that like, which I think would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I
that
just
could
misunderstood.
Work. Yeah, because LCI assistants really are only helping with the seminar with the on bike
sure
material and content.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that could definitely probably be an asset too.
Okay, so there's an answer to a question you asked and an answer to a question you didn't ask.
Yeah, that's a good
there you go.
That was a good segue. Okay, and then here's something. I know John Ryder has requirements for the road course. Do you? John Ryder is a contractor for the league. So John is following the league standard. So can you address that? Or do you want me to?
I prefer that you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so John is following the league standard. So there are some requirements for the road ride. Intersections, certain number of turns. We want to see LCI candidates lead people through intersections. It's very similar, if not the same, as the road ride for the smart cycling course on road test. So we just want to make sure the candidate, soon to be instructor, is comfortable leading people on the road where there's traffic through certain kind of requirements. Okay. Does scholarship money carry over seminar to seminar? So I'm assuming this is like if you had a scholarship to a seminar that didn't happen, or was postponed or canceled due to low enrollment, does it carry over?
Well, they wouldn't have scholarships if they didn't meet the thing. So I think that they're actually asking about like people who meet the 8 candidate minimum like 2 days before registration closes, who are not in a position to get someone scholarship, whether the next time they host a seminar, they could use that scholarship. That's what I would think, because
right.
What-
So that's
yeah.
right. So that's a scholarship that's because the minimum is happening. We've reached the minimum. We know the seminar is going to go ahead. So that if that person that is deemed to be getting the scholarship, they wouldn't be able to take that scholarship and apply to a different seminar. So that is specific to that seminar.
There you go.
Can you tell us about how to recruit candidates for training sessions? Those of us who might want to become LCIs can't imagine how we would find participants.
I think one of the things is hosting the courses. I think that's like hosting smart cycling courses and like talking it up in those courses. That would be one thing that I can think of. Do you have any other thoughts?
I think accessing as many networks that you have, publicizing it, certainly partnering with other groups in your community, whether it's, local bike shops are a great place to find people who would be interested in becoming league cycling instructors. Partnering with those other entities that have an interest in active transportation, whether it's a health agency or a recreation center, a YMCA, things, groups that, or that, focus on the outdoors. So partnerships I see as working really well to find additional candidates. Let's see. How many hours do each LCI assistants work when helping at a seminar?
And that really varies, right?
Yeah, it does. So coaches use LCI assistants differently. And typically LCI assistants are only helping during or assisting during the on-bike part of the seminar. So that could be, all day on Saturday, or it could be just a few hours on some Saturday. Like the coach wants to doesn't need the LCI assistants on the road ride, or they don't need them on the drills, or they need them for both. So it really depends. Also, how many candidates are in the seminar. How does the site facilitator get your requirements for the road course? Through the coach.
The coach will email you describing what they're specifically looking for and when they anticipate that the road ride happening within the seminar schedule, because the template schedule that we have there, like in the MOU, is just a template schedule, and the coaches may arrange things either because of their teaching style or like weather. They might have to move some things around.
And then another question on LCI assistants, how many typically are needed?
Oh, sure. I think it varies by candidate. Do I have that? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
here.
varies on the number of
Yeah.
candidates.
Yeah, it varies on the number of candidates
And by the
and
coach.
the coach. So there's no like hard and fast number. I'd say, would you say that each one of those tiers is like 1, 2, 3, 4, generally speaking? So like 8 to 9, you're gonna have one assistant, and these are all just uh, generalizations. It may differ, but 8 to 9 candidates, you'll have one assistant. 10 to 12, 2, 13 to 15, 3, 16, 4. But as I said, it's really going to be up to the coach, but
Yeah.
that's probably the average for each of those amounts.
Okay. Let's see. Is money available to help promote the seminar? For example, having flyers printed.
That is not something that we have in our budget, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Digital is good. We have there are, there's a Riley, do we have a marketing type of thing? We have it for smart cycling classes on the LCI portal. And yes, the communications toolkit.
Yeah.
So we do provide some resources for you to promote the seminar. However, we don't have a budget for printing. Okay, I think any other questions? Let me check. Oh, there's a couple in the chat. How long do remediated candidates, and you might want to talk about remediation of candidates, have to complete their requirements for certification after a seminar?
18 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 months. Yeah, so
actually, sorry, I believe it's a year, not 18.
A year.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
year.
Cool. Then a year. So upon completing the seminar, each candidate will either be certified, indicating to us at the league that this person has met the requirements, is ready to be an instructor, or they may receive remediation. Remediation is generally specific. The coach will provide tasks that need to be done, or drills that need to be reviewed in order to actually be certified. And then they can work with an active LCI in their community to demonstrate the skills if it does involve any on-bike stuff. If it's just written stuff, they just send that to the coach. But yeah, they have a year if they complete a seminar, receive remediation score, and are encouraged to fulfill their remediation requirements so they can be certified.
And then let's see. Dorothy had a comment: as an LCI, I've been working a lot for a variety of groups and people I meet and share the benefits of being an LCI, and have brought in many people to take the classes. Regarding smart cycling classes, there are a lot of these being offered, which then has to be an extra class or cost. More collaboration is needed to support more CBOs working together to get more people to take the courses. Yeah, so I guess that's also a kind of a promotion marketing issue that could be addressed better by the league, and how we support LCIs marketing their classes to the public. Let's see. I think that is it for the questions. There's some questions in the chat and then some in the QA. Oh, and Nard did ask about the site facilitator attending as the seminar as an attendee. So you answered that as well. Okay, so I think that's it, Riley, for questions.
Okay, so should I just move on to our announcements?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. So just a few announcements about some other things that the league has going on. The community Spark grants are the league's mini grant program, funds local projects and programs that spark change to improving bicycling in your community. This year, we'll grant a total of 15 local organizations who will receive $1,500 each for a project or program to be completed in 2024. Spark grant application is currently open for submissions now through February 1st. And you can visit bikeleague.org/spark. And I'll drop this in the chat to apply for that. Another thing we want to announce are some other upcoming webinars. So we have another webinar this week, federal policy update. And then later this month, we have bike advocacy essentials, an e-bike impact calculator. So those are two more seminars that we have going on this month. And you can find a calendar of upcoming league webinars, as well as archives of all past webinars, webinar recordings at bikeleague.org/events/webinars. And then finally, brief plug for the 2024 National Bike Summit, which will be taking place in person in Washington, D.C. from Tuesday, March 19th through Thursday, March 21st. This is our biggest event of the year. We have a lot of exciting stuff planned, so we hope you'll consider joining us for that. We also have an online only option if you're not able to make it to DC, but we hope to see many of you in DC in the coming year, or this year in April.
Yeah, and something else to note about the summit is that the registration rate increases starting in February. So now's the time to register at a reduced rate. We definitely want to see everyone, as many people as possible there. If you can't attend in person, we'd love to have you online. But attending in person is then you can lobby, be on Capitol Hill, and the more voices we have, the better. So that is great. All right, so thank you, Riley. I mean, go ahead, you close it out. I don't want to feel any.
Well, yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for joining us. We love talking about this stuff. We're excited to help you put on LCI seminars across the country in the coming year and beyond. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to hear from you in regards to your plans for LCI seminars.